Hello and welcome to Millennium's Basic Appointment Book webinar. My name is Lindsay Williams and I will be your presenter for today. I have been in the salon and spa industry for over 7 years, where I started out as a concierge and have since trained hundreds of employees on the software. I attended 4 user groups of Millennium's as a client and have since fulfilled my dream of joining the Harm software staff, where I now work in the technical support department. In today's webinar, we will be learning how to handle all of your daily routines, including appointment booking, checking in clients, rescheduling, confirmations, and a whole lot more. If you are viewing this webinar live and have any questions, please type them into the chat and I will answer them when the webinar is complete. The first thing that we are going to take a look at is our business information setup. Items covered in this section is learning how to remove old appointments on the book, also auto no-show, and setting up our appointment book preferences. If we come on over into Millennium, we can find these preferences located by going to Data and Business Information and Preferences. We are always going to click on Edit anytime we enter the screen and need to make a change. And let's click on our Preferences tab. The first thing we're going to see is our Options tab, and the category is already set to appointments for us. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is how we can change the increments on the book. Now we have time intervals of 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or 5 minutes. If you have a 15-minute interval and you want to change that to a 10-minute book, you can, let's say you had a client scheduled at 9:15, Millennium will automatically change the appointment time to 9:20 and not 9:10 so the client doesn't show up late without knowing. So you can safely change the time intervals without messing up anything on the appointment book. You can be rest assured. The remove appointments older than, now we have it here set to 6 months. And what this does, it takes appointments off the book, removing them from 6 months ago. And this keeps Millennium running at its optimal speed. Now, if we had those appointments on the book, Millennium may run a little slow. And even if we remove them, we still have all of the histories and we can still report on them, but they are actually just not up for reviewing. Now we can also set our auto no-show, and then this is different depending on your location. You can choose to say a client that doesn't come in is considered a no-show after how many minutes. So we will choose, let's say after half an hour that they don't show up. They are now going to be marked as a no-show on the book. Let's come over here to our preference and value table, and let's take a look at some of the preferences that we have. The first being our auto check waiting list after deleting an appointment. So that is located here, and if we scroll our mouse over, since we can't see the entire definition here, we have a tooltip that pops up, and you can see auto check pending cancellations after delete or moving or edit. And what this means is if you have pending appointments booked, which we'll get in how to book them in a little bit, and somebody moves and that now is an open availability on the book, Millennium will automatically pop up and say, hey, this person would like to book at this time, would you like to book it? So we're going to set that value to yes. We would like to auto-check the pending list after we move anything on the book. Next thing that we're going to take a look at is displaying appointment notes in the register. So we do have the ability to tie notes into an appointment, and if we want those notes to pop up in our register, we will set this to yes. Sometimes when booking an appointment, the client will mention that maybe they have a coupon or they noticed a special, and we can type those notes into the appointment and they will pop up for whatever front desk employee is ringing that client up. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is our forced cancellation reason when deleting. Now, you do have the option to right-click and delete appointments, but we want to set this to force the cancellation reason so we have a better record of why the clients are canceling. And we can set up our cancellation reasons to say if they rescheduled, if they were sick, if the employee actually called out sick. So we're going to leave that one set to yes. The next preference we're going to take a look at, if we scroll down here, is printing appointment notes on the work ticket. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to show you how to print out these work tickets, and again, if anybody has appointment notes on there, such as they're using a coupon or they want anything specific, if it's their birthday, we want that to pop up on the work ticket so the service provider knows. So we'll set that one to yes as well. The next thing we're going to take a look at is show formulas on the work ticket. If you have color formulas already set up within your system and that particular client is coming in for a color service, those color formulas will show up on the work ticket and we will click yes. Now, this setting, if we scroll over, is show formulas on work ticket regardless of service book. So this is going to be all the formulas tied to that client and not just the service that was booked. If we scroll down just a tiny bit more so we can show you show price and appointment editor, we'll keep this to yes, just in case a client is booking and they want a running total of how much the service is. It's easy for the front desk to just, instead of bringing up the service list, they can see those prices right there while they're booking the appointment. So always when we close out of the screen, just like when we edit, always to edit any of our preferences, we are always going to make sure to press save. And let's close on out. So that is our business information setup. We want to make sure that we remove those old appointments, anything older than 6 months. That keeps Millennium running nice and fast for you. We also want to set what time we want our auto no-show to happen. So that can be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you would like. And also we want to go through some of our appointment book preferences. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is our appointment book navigation. So some of the items covered here is using the calendar, taking a look at employees, our hours, the status bar that goes along the bottom, our week view, and actually going ahead and booking an appointment. We come back into Millennium. Okay, so now that we set up everything in our preferences and we already have our schedules in here, we're ready to dive right into the appointment book. And this is worth mentioning, we are also going to take a look at which reports that you may want to consider when running your daily appointment book, just seeing information on that. So the first thing you're going to do is bring up our appointment book, and that is going to be this gold book right here. And this launches your appointment book. You can see ours for today. So let's take a look at some of the navigation and how we move through the appointment book. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is our calendar, which is located right here on the very top left. We have our hours here so we can skip forward for months. And we can also choose these days you can select them and it'll jump right to that day. Now we can always use the today function or press F6 to get back to today. We also have our hours and employees on the view. If you wanted to make the book larger or smaller, we can choose to edit these to the preference that you like. So maybe you want the book a little bit bigger and we only want to see 10, we can set that. But for right now, we're going to choose 15 employees to view, and we'll make that 125%. That looks good to me. Now, along on the bottom here of the appointment book, we have a few options. We have our cascade feature, and if we click on this, it will put the employees in order from the time that they are coming in. So let's go ahead and click that. And we can see all of our 9 o'clock employees that are coming in are now grouped together, and then anybody coming in later would be in order. So you have our 9 o'clock people, and then say we had somebody at 10 o'clock, just so we can group together the clients that are coming in first, second, and third. Just an easy way to view that. Let's click on non-cascade here. Now bring it right back to our normal view. Now we can also see how many clients have arrived and checked in. We will get to that in just a little bit. How many are running late. And since it is 10:40 and we did set our auto no-show to a half an hour when we were in business information and preferences, that's why we see all of these red X's here. We also have our about to check in, and this will launch a list of somebody who is about to be coming in within the next few minutes, and you can see that Ron Burgundy is due in with George Clooney. We can X on out of there. Now we also see our percentage booked. That is how much we are booked for today as a whole. How many were booked over the internet if you use .net, and also how many of these services were pre-booked, which we're not doing so good right now. But let's take a look at now how we would jump through and easily go from week to week. Now we can use our Go menu up here at the very top right of the screen, and we can go ahead maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, And always we will press F6 or click on the Today icon to get back to today. Or we can use Alt. If you hold down ALT and then hit 1 or 2 or 3, any of the numbers on your keyboard, if you hit Alt 1, that will jump you ahead 1 week. If you hit Alt 2, that goes ahead 2 weeks, and 3, and so on. And then we can press F6 to get back to today. Now we also have our week view. If somebody is booking an appointment for, they only want the employee of Derek, and we only want to see Derek's appointment book, we can double click on his name, and that brings up the week view. And if it would stay, if I didn't click on that. And that would bring up the week view, so we can only book for Derek on here. It's just an easier way to see Derek's schedule. Let's close on out of there. Now let's take a look at actually booking an appointment. So let's see how we would book an appointment that only has one service attached to it. Let's take George, and let's say he has an appointment today at 4 o'clock. We would double click on the 4 o'clock appointment time. And this launches our appointment editor. Now we need to enter in a client. So for entering in a client, we are going to have Julie come on in, and we can enter just a couple letters of her last name, followed by comma, and then a couple letters of her first name, and press enter. If you can see that Julie pops into the register. Also, since we clicked on George at 4 o'clock, that setting is already in here for us. We have George, and it is at 4 o'clock. Now we need to choose an appointment type. Now this is Julie's, she's been in before, but this is her first time requesting George, so let's go ahead and choose non-request. And for the service, let's say she's having a European facial. So the service code there would be European facial. And we can see that since we set up to put prices in the appointment editor, that the employee, the front desk can see that this facial is $90. Also, it is for 1 hour. Since she is booking for today, and it is today already, and we don't want to confirm this for her, just in case the girls are doing confirmations, we will click on Do Not Confirm. And let's go ahead and press Save. Now, let's say that we are going to be booking multiple service in one editor. Let's take a look at that. So let's book for Oprah, and let's say at 5 o'clock. So we're going to double click on that 5 o'clock block, and let's say that our client Angela is going to be coming in for some hair services. So we're going to type in a few letters of her last name if we know it, and a few letters of her first name. Now, if we didn't know Angela's last name, and maybe we only know the first letter, we didn't exactly know how to spell it, we can also use our Find option right here. And if it was a new client, we can add a new client by clicking on the Add New Client function right here. And we can also see on this stack of books any history that Angela has with us. We can also see that since we clicked on the 5 o'clock block with Oprah, Oprah and 5 o'clock is already set for us. So now we need to set in a appointment type. And we're going to choose New Client. Angela is brand new. And service, let's say she's going to get a single process. So we can do two things. If we know the service code, we can type it in, and single process would come up. Or we can hold down Shift and hit the tilde, which is that little squiggle next to the number 1 on the keyboard. And that means sounds like. And I can say it sounds like it has these letters in it. It sounds like it has that. And that would bring up our single process color as well. Now, the single process color has that finish time already inserted into it. That is for when the client needs to get washed out after the color has already been processed. So let's take that out and jump down to the next line. So to add multiple services onto one ticket, we would just automatically come down to the next line. And the time is automatically going to be set for you depending on the time of the service on line 1. So we want Angela to have a haircut. So let's type in that haircut. And we'll press OK there. And we can see that the price for the single process is $55. The haircut is $50. And then we get a running total right here at the bottom. If we wanted to book another service, we would know that we would have to take a look at our 7 o'clock blocks to see if anything was open. Now, we have over here on the left-hand side this resize option. This is pretty cool. If you wanted to take a look at the appointment book, but this is a little too big for you to move around, we can click on this resize button, and that will give us a nice view here. So we can scroll down and we can maybe book her a pedicure or a facial after that. If we click on resize again, it brings it right back to normal. Now, if you wanted to enter in a appointment note, we can do that right here. And let's say that she has a Valpak coupon and we want the front desk employee that is ringing them up to know to take off 20%. So we can just type that right in here. Has Valpak for 20% off. We can mark our initials as well. And let's click Save. Okay, and we can see our appointment right here. So appointment book navigation, we can use the calendar if we want to go to a specific day. We can also see how many employees are on the book. We can take a look at the hours that are booked. We saw the status bar along the bottom. We can do a week view if you wanted to just book for one single employee. And then we took our first look at booking an appointment. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is our appointment book tools. And as you can see, there is a lot. So let's just jump right into that. Come right back into Millennium. We can see the appointment book tools along the left side here. And I'm going to introduce you to them one by one. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is our view option. And the view button allows us to select specific employees or more than one employee or group or classification. So let's click on view. And we want to see some specific employees, so let's click on the employee button here. And I would like to take a look at Derek. I can click on him by pressing the move, or we can double click. So I also want to take a look at cancel. Let's double click there. And we'll press OK. So what that did is it just jumped the book to only see Derek and Ken. Maybe I want to just see see if we have any haircuts and facials in that order. Maybe this client only wants to book with those two employees. So this function is very, very useful for doing that. If we press Control A, that's a hotkey. And Control A would bring everybody back to the book. So now let's take a look at those. Actually, since I just showed you an appointment book hotkey, let's take a look at those appointment book hotkeys. So if you remember from previous webinars, if you did attend them, we were setting up our appointment book hotkeys under Data, Employees, and Employee Classifications. And each classification was tied to a hotbook key. So if we wanted to see colorists, we can hold down Control and then hit a lowercase c. So let's take a look here. See if we have any colorists on the book. We can hold down Control, hit C, and our colorists will show up. If we hit Control A, everybody will come back onto the book. If we do have any estheticians, we set it up as an E. So we can hold down Control and hit E, and our estheticians will come up as well. Now, remember that employees can be tied to two classifications. So if somebody is an esthetician and also a hairstylist, they can pop up when you hit either hotkey. But let's hit Control A to bring everyone back. Next thing that we're going to take a look at is our Find option. And this can be used for a quick lookup whenever clients ask for their next appointment, when it is, without fishing through the book or looking up their future appointments in their history. We can also, from here, print out a list of their appointments, just in case they have a ton of appointments or standing appointments. So we can click on Find. And let's say we want to look up a client. Let's take a look at Mila. And we can see any future appointments that she does have. And here we can check in from this screen right here. If your appointment book is very large and you don't want to go looking through for when the exact appointment was, we can use this for that function. We can check them in right from here. Or we can print this out for Mila. She wants to have a record of all the appointments that she has with us in the future. Let's go ahead and X out here. And let's take a look at our pending. So a pending appointment is what we were taking a look at before when we set the appointment book in our preferences to check this pending list just in case we move anything around. We're going to click on pending. And let's say that Jennifer Lopez calls in, so let's put her in. She calls in and she would like an appointment, but we don't exactly have that availability right now. We can choose our employee that she would like to have it with, and we're going to choose Kim. Now, if she did not care what the employee was and she was just basically after the service, we can choose any employee. Or if she has a massage service that she wants to book and maybe she has a preference of having a male employee or female, we can choose any male or any female. So let's choose Kim for now. And let's put in the service. Now, the service that she wants is a mini facial, so I know the code for that. And we'll press OK. And the resource, we are going to choose our first available. And we know that this is 45 minutes. Now we could choose our date range. Now, the date range that we want to do is for today. So anywhere from now, which is about 11 o'clock, to about 5 o'clock tonight. Now, you can also say over the span of a week or so that Jennifer would like this sometime this week. Please, please, please get her in. So we can go ahead and open up that date range and also select when she's available. So maybe she's available every day of the week except for Monday. So we would check them all off and then uncheck Monday. Now, we can also enter appointment notes in here as well. So let's click on Save. And we'll X out here. Now let's take a look at the status bar. We can see that there is one pending. Now if we click on the status bar, it is clickable. We'll see which client is pending. So we'll see that Jennifer Lopez has a mini facial. She would like Kim, and sometime between 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock today. Let's X on out of this screen, and let's put it to use. So let's cancel an appointment. So let's cancel Michael's appointment. And we need to cancel with reason since we did set that up in our preference. And let's say that he rescheduled. And we'll delete that. Now it checks our pending cancellation. So we can see the available times that we now have since Michael canceled for Jennifer to come in and book this facial. If we select one of these, and by checking it off, it'll actually book it for us. So let's say that we want to put Jennifer in today at 3. We can click on Book It, and it'll let you know the appointment was booked, and we'll press OK. And we can see that Jennifer Lopez now has her facial here today at 3 o'clock. So this is extremely efficient for your front desk, and it'll let you know, go ahead and call Jennifer and let her know that her facial has become available. So clients will love that when you are on top of it and they aren't getting forgotten about it all. Let's take a look at block times. So the very next thing on our list here is our blocking for appointments. Now we can block off for things such as lunches, meetings. If somebody needs a little extra time, you can block that off instead of making the appointment there. But let's go ahead and say that we are going to have a team meeting on, let's say, Monday, and let's go ahead and block everybody off all at once. So what we're going to do is move over everybody. We want all of our employees. And we want to, this is going to be on a Monday, so we'll uncheck those here. And we are going to do our start and end date, so we're going to choose Monday, which is going to be the 29th. We'll choose Monday again here. So it's start date and end date. Now we can also do this every Monday. If you want to have a team meeting, we can end it by next year or so, and they'll block you off every single Monday. Let's say the start time is going to be 8:45. Yep. We'll type in 08 and 45 a.m. till about 9 o'clock a.m. That's a long meeting if it was 8:45 to 9 p.m. And the reason is going to be our team meeting. Now, I want to check off Do Not Perform Check Conflict because some of these employees may be off, and it's going to give you a prompt every single time. Hey, this employee is off. Are you sure? Are you sure? Well, I am completely sure that I want everybody to be there for this team meeting. So we're going to check off Do Not Perform Check Conflict, and we're going to press Save. Now, if we X out, and let's take a look at Monday, the 29th, and we scroll up on our appointment book till the 8 o'clock spot, 8:45, we'll see that everybody is now blocked out for the team meeting all at once. And it's quick, and it's simple, and everybody's blocked out all at once, and there is not much to click on. So I love that block feature. Now let's take a look at our standings. So to get back to today, since I always like to have the book on today, let's hit F6. And that brings us back today. Now we also could have hit our today icon, but I like to use our hotkeys there. So F6 brings us back to today, and let's take a look at our standing feature. Now, we had a client called Betty Smith that comes in every other Friday for a massage. So rather than booking the appointments each time she comes in, we can create a standing appointment. We can do that by clicking on Stand. We're going to enter in our client name. Now, if it's a brand new client, you can click on the Add New feature here, as always, that we know that her first name is Betty and her last name is Smith. So let's enter in a few letters of her last name, followed by a few letters of her first. And Betty Smith comes up. Now, she wants this appointment with Meredith, and she would like to have that Swedish massage. So I can hit Shift and squiggle, and let's see if we have a massage in there. Yep, Swedish massage, 60-minute. We're going to highlight that and press OK. And the time that she wants to come in, let's say 6 o'clock p.m. And it is for 1 hour. Now, since Betty knows that every other Friday she is going to have this for 6 o'clock, and that she may have that drilled right into her brain, we have the option to do not confirm. I mean, if we check that off, she will not be appearing in our appointment confirmation list. So she will know. The front desk will not be calling her when her appointment comes. It's the same thing every other week. She knows that she has that appointment. If we checked off perpetual standing, this automatically books themselves as the client is rung up. So if she starts today and she has a client, she has her appointment for, let's say, this Friday, and she brings out that appointment, it's automatically going to tack on another one to the end. So if we have end after 5 occurrences, she's always going to have 5 massages booked. As one's checked out, another one is always booked. So if we have end after 5 right here, she's always going to have 5, and that is our perpetual standing. They will go on and on and on. But if we wanted to have them end, we would leave that unchecked. And let's take a look right down here, and this is where we're going to set how many times that she would like this. Now, we can set this daily if she wants to come in every single day, weekly or monthly, every first day of the month, every second day of the month, or whatever you want to set there. But let's take a look at our weekly tab. And we want this to occur every other week, so we're going to say every 2 weeks on a Friday, since that's when she would like to come in, every other Friday at 6 o'clock. So we have every other Friday at 6 o'clock. And now we can say, and after 5 occurrences, since she wants to come in those 5 times. Or we can also do an end by date. If we check this off, we can set the date. So we want to end it by June. She's leaving in June, so we can set that as well. But we are going to do end after 5 occurrences. 5. And we're going to click on Save. And any appointments that were booked are going to come over here. Now, they were booked that fast. We just booked 5 appointments all at once. That went pretty quick, but they are down over here on the left, and you can see which ones were booked. Now, if there were any conflicts, they would appear over here in red, and it's going to give you the reason why. So it could say maybe Meredith is off at that time. If you did want to book those appointments, we could double-click on those red appointments. If you say, you know what, I know she's off, but that's okay, I'm going to tell her about it, we can actually double-click on those red dates over here, and it would book them for you. So let's close on out. And let's take a look at our scan feature. Now, this is a really cool feature that we have, and if you don't want to go searching through the book for available times, we can use our scan feature. And let's say that our client, Betty Boop, would like to come in today for the Bliss package, and we don't really want to know where that fits in for today. We don't want to go looking through the book. We can type in a few letters of her last name, or her whole last name, and her first name. And employee, let's choose any employee. She doesn't care who she has, and it's non-request. She doesn't care who she has. She doesn't have a specific request for that. And let's say we want to book a package. Now, any packages that we already have set up, we can click on Insert Package and take a look at our package list. And let's say we want to book the Bliss package here. And we'll press OK. And it automatically inserts the package into the list. I mean, we could go through and say Swedish massage, facial caviar, but this is just an easy way to insert package, put it on the list. Now, we can also insert lines, take a line out. Maybe she wants to have this package, but she doesn't want to have the pedicure that's associated to it. We can do that as well. And we also have some options here along the bottom. We have maximum wait time between services. Now, we don't really want anybody to wait between their services, but we can say that she will wait 15 minutes or 30 minutes in between. And we also want to see our number of choices. Now, we could say we want 10 choices, 11 choices, as many as we can, and only the amount that is actually bookable will show up. But it takes a little longer if you're trying to look out for 10 choices, so we will keep that at 5. Now, we can also check off to use masking, and what that is, when we set up our services, if our services had masking associated with it, say we wanted to book those massages only on the hour so we can maximize our appointment book, we can also honor that. So it's only going to look to book that massage on the hour. We can also honor the employee column order. If you book from left to right, we can also honor that. So we can say if you book from left to right and you put your massages first, your facial second, your pedicures third, it's going to look to book that massage first, the facial second, the pedicure third, with those employees right in order. So it's going to honor your appointment book, and it's going to go check who's ever on the left side first, and then if that person's unavailable, they would check it. To further explain what in the world I'm talking about, it's going to look to book Shannon first. If Shannon's not available, it's going to look to book Mark. If Mark's not available, it's going to look for Oprah. And if Oprah's unavailable, it's going to look to book Derek. So that is our employee column order. And now we want to set a date range. So maybe Betty Boop wants to come in for today. Maybe she wants to see an entire week. We can choose our from and to, just like we did for our standing. And we recommend only doing about 2 weeks. It's going to give you a lot of options if you have a large book. So we want to make this very efficient, and Betty Boop doesn't be wanting to hold on the phone while we take a look at these appointments. So we want to keep that as a limit to about 2 weeks. But for her, we're going to choose for today. And let's set the appointment time. She wants to come in anytime between, let's leave the default, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Now, just like the scan, we can also say that the client is available on Tuesdays. If we were opening this up, we can say that she is available every day except for Sunday and Saturday, whatever we want to set. If we click our scan button down here, it's going to scan for those choices, and it'll let you know if we have any. And we certainly do. So we can go ahead and book these right from here without ever having to really open up that appointment editor and do it individually. So if Betty Boop is on the phone, we can let her know. We can go ahead and start you at 2 o'clock. We can start you at 2:45, at 3, at 4, or at 4:15. What would you like to book? If she says she wants to book at 2, we would just click on Book It, and then click on Book It. And then it'll let you know the appointment was booked on 3/23/10, and we can say, okay, thank you very much. And we can close on out. So if we take a look at 3 o'clock, scroll down here, you see that Betty Boop, she is on here, and her appointments are nice and in order. Now, we also have a move feature. Let's scroll on up a little bit and take a look at our move feature. If you are noticing this green line, this is actually new. This is an enhancement on our recent update, and that is just marking the time for you. Once it turns maybe 12 o'clock, you'll see the green line go all the way across and any empty space, and this is just letting you know don't book above the green line because that had already happened. So don't book up here. It's now this time. So that is what that green line was. It shocked me when I first opened it up for the first time. What we're going to take a look at now is actually our move feature. And let's take a look at easily moving a client's appointment. So let's say we are going to move Paul's appointment. He would like to now come in at 11:15. He's running a little early. To move, we would hit the move button. And we're going to get a little pop-up up here at the top. It's going to say, select the appointment you want to move from. So we're going to select Paul. Now it's going to say, select the date and time you want to move. And we can click 11:15. And he automatically moves right up. We can use that to move him back. And that's pretty simple right there. So that's as far as the move goes. That's it. We can move appointments very quickly, and we can even move them to different employees. But if we do move it to the wrong employee, it's going to say this employee does not perform a haircut. Are you sure? So you are going to get prompts just in case you're moving quickly and you are afraid you're going to make a mistake. So we won't be making any mistakes here. Now we also have a very important feature is our missed opportunity. So we need to track any missed appointments that are coming in throughout the day. So we want to see if there are a lot of missed appointments on, say, a Friday night when we're doing future schedules. We were going to say, maybe we need to add some more employees, or if we're getting a lot of missed on Mondays and we're not open, maybe think about opening on Mondays. So to use this feature, we can click on missed. And now you can put in the paying client name if you want to track these clients, but you do not have to. But for this reason, we are going to put it in. Let's say that Christina, or if I can spell her name right, Chris? No? There she is. Okay, so Christina, she called, but we could not book her, and she did not want to go on our pending list, unfortunately. So we would choose the failed booking date, which will leave us today, and the time range will do from, it happened at 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., so all of this time went by. We could not get her in. She wanted any employee. So we'll scroll up to here. And her service that she wanted, we'll say that she wanted a haircut. Haircut woman. So HCW. And the reason. Now we could say that all of our employees are unavailable. Maybe it's outside the business hours if we want to take a look at maybe opening a little later or adjusting our times. Or that there was no rooms available. Maybe we have the employees, but there's only there are 6 estheticians, but only 4 facial rooms. So we can choose the reasons right in here. For now, we're going to choose that all of our employees that perform haircuts were unavailable, and we can press OK. Now, we can run reports on this, and we can see exactly when we're missing, so we can come back and maybe adjust schedules or business hours, anything like that. The last thing we're going to take a look at is our walk-in button. And that is going to be right down here, and it's going to say first available. So if you do have a walk-in, we can go ahead and click on that here. And now you can set a client. We can put walk-in here. You can put in the default time range. They can have, if they request a employee, or if they don't, we can choose our first service and employee. If that isn't available in the book, we can choose our second service and employee, and then it would scan, just like our scan feature, to pretty much exactly the same, and we can scan and see if there's anything available for today for this employee there, for the client there. So we're going to close on out, and let's come back into our PowerPoint. Okay, so our appointment book tools, and I know there was just a lot that we discovered. We can view to see, have a better view of the appointment book. We can find appointments easily, just so we don't have to go looking through the appointment book. We can use our pending, just in case anybody cancels, we can book it right then and there. We can use our block to block out lunches, meetings, extra times, things like that. We can use our standing if somebody has multiple appointments at the same time, every week, every other week, or for whatever time range that they would like. We can also use our scan feature, which is great for when we want to book packages and we don't want to look through and see when that is going to happen and in what order. We can use that scan feature. We can also move appointments easily by using that move option. We can take a look at our missed opportunities, and also we can use our first available manager to take a look at who is available first for when walk-ins come on in. The next thing we're going to take a look at is our appointment confirmation. So we're going to take a look at how to confirm days in advance, how to load those appointments in, confirmation settings, how to refresh and save, and all that stuff. So we're going to get right into it. So to do appointment confirmations, we are going to come up to appointments, and we're going to come down to appointment confirmations. Okay, this is our appointment confirmation screen. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is now we can do use confirmed days in advance, and we can set individually in each client profile if maybe they would like to get confirmed 2 days in advance, 3 days in advance, and then we can load clients that way. We can use the appointment date, which is always going to be on tomorrow's date. Now you can confirm for today by clicking on the drop-down arrow and choosing today instead. Now you can also use these blue arrows to toggle quickly, so we can do the next day or previous day there. We can load employees. We can say we just want to confirm George's for tomorrow, but if you leave that blank, everybody is going to show up. And then we can load clients. It's going to put everybody that we have tomorrow right here on the book. So let's go through, and now we do have a few options when confirming. We have left message, contacted, or emailed, or SMS, which we'll get into in just a moment. Any of the information that they need, which we are extremely bad at putting in our data here. When the clients call in, we do not get a phone number for Christina or B, but that information will pop up right over here on the left for you. You can also see the last time that they've been in, so you could say, welcome back, Christina. I see that you have not been in since December 3rd of 2008. Where in the world have you been? Thank you so much for booking your appointment. And we can also see their appointment details. So we can see, Christina, thank you for coming in. We have an appointment booked for you for 9 o'clock with Derek for a women's haircut. You would say it much smoother than that. I'm not good at appointment confirmations. We can also check appointment notes. So any notes that are associated with that appointment. And this is good for if somebody has different contact information, or if it's a birthday, we can choose to put in those notes there, and we can read it. And those are indicated by this red line right under the appointment notes. Now, if you're having two employees confirming at once, and maybe one's working from the top and one's working from the bottom, we can click on Save and Refresh. And what that does, it'll refresh it on both screens, so they can see once we click Save, they'll pop up on both, so we don't double call maybe B if they meet together in the middle. Also, once we click Save and Refresh, it puts it on the appointment book so everybody can see it, and I'll show you how they're indicated in just a moment. So for Christina, we will click on left message. B can be contacted. We email Jack. We left message for Kim. We'll just go through some so we get a few different appointment colors there. Now, we also have the option for SMS confirmations and Millennium Mail confirmations. If you need Millennium Mail or SMS set up, or you need some more information on it, that's when you would call our business support department, and I'll give you the number right at the end of this webinar. But if we press Save and Refresh, and we're going to press OK here, and we're going to jump back down to the book. If we go to tomorrow, we can take a look at who we actually confirm. So for Christina, if we left click and hold one time, before that, if you notice this yellow line running down the left side of the appointment, that means that we left a message. To see that in detail, we can left click and hold one time. And you can see that we left a message and at what time. So it was confirmed by me, which is the super user right now, at 11:12:07 a.m. So it's going to say who called this person and at what time, and how did we contact them. And if we contacted them, if we left a message, if we emailed them, something like that. Let's take a look at Christina, if we can find her here. Actually, if we have our confirm, well, I can't find the one I just did, so we'll confirm it right here. Now, you can also double-click on these appointments to confirm, and you can say that you contacted this client right here. If somebody is coming in late, or they already booked their appointment, or if you're done with your appointment confirmations and you didn't want to load the list again, we can also double-click on those appointments to get into the editor, and we can confirm them right here. So let's take a look at what contact verified would look like, and that is for Dana. Let's refresh the book. That is going to be a green line on the side. If you need more help on what in the world the colors and the fonts and things mean on the book, we have our appointment book legend, which we will get to. And actually, let's take a look at it right now. If we press F1, it brings up our help screen, or we can also come up to help and search for help on, or we can click our question mark right here. I'm going to click on F1, and that'll launch our help menu. And let's use our search feature. So we can click on search, and if we type in the word legend, or even a little bit of or if I can type in the whole word. Okay, the first thing that we can take a look at right here is our appointment book legend. And this is going to go through the indicators and the other confirmation indicators and other appointment book indicators that we have. So we can see that that red bar means not confirmed. The green one was confirmed. The yellow was left message. Also, if we left message and then the client called back and confirmed, that can be indicated as well. That do not confirm, which if we are booking for the same day, that would be marked as dark blue. We can also say if we emailed or SMS, but again, let's contact business support if we want to get that set up. Let's exit on out of here. And we also have what we call our right-click menu. and it's very handy. It jumps you to a lot of features very quickly for these specific appointments that are already on your book. So let's put back to today. We'll click on the today icon for right now. And let's check in some appointments here. So let's see, it's 11:16 and Paul is about to be coming in and he just walked in. So we can right-click on his name and our right-click menu would appear. So we can do many things from this right-click menu. If we wanted to check in this appointment, we would just right-click and go to check in. The check-in is indicated by being underlined. If Paul wanted to check out, we can right-click and go to ring up checkout. We can also move the specific appointment. We can use our IntelliMove button, which if we click on that, it launches our IntelliMove. It's just like a scan. Without looking future into the appointment book, we can see when this appointment would be available with Shannon for a haircut. So just like our scan feature, we can take a look. So let's close on out of there, and then it would just move that appointment right over. So it would take off this one and then book it over here. Close on that there. Also from the right-click menu, we can do a cancellation reason. Now, on our preferences, we said that we did not want somebody to just come in here and delete. We wanted to force that cancellation reason. So that is why delete this appointment is grayed out. We can choose the cancellation reason. We can take a look at group view. That's something we have set up. We can jump right into this client. We can see the client profile. We can take a look at Paul's formulas and notes. We can see his history, his phone list. We can email him right from here. Our find feature for this client only is also in our right-click menu. So if we click on that, Paul would automatically be assigned. So we don't need to click on find and then type in the name if we're right here at the appointment. Also on the right-click menu, we could see service prices and employee prices for Shannon. We can also do a block time. We can also print out the work ticket right from here, and I'll show you how to print work tickets. So if you want to print an individual one, we can print it right from here. So let's actually go through what some of these would look like. Instead of using that legend, I'll show you what a few of these look like. So we already know that our no-show looks like this red X here because we're going through the time, and obviously this is we're not really at a salon right now. It's a test database. So we see these red X's right here. So that is our no-show. We can also say, now if we cancel, the cancel with reason button would show up. And we can say that the employee is sick, and we can press delete, and that would take Paul's appointment right off the book. If somebody is running late, let's say Ashley calls in, she's running late, but she will be here, and we want the service providers to know that, we can right-click, click on running late. Is this client running late? Yes, she is. And a little time clock will appear. Now, if you wanted to undo that, we can right-click, come up to running late, and undo running late. Now, if by accident you check a client in, so right-click and check in, and we wanted to undo that, if we right-click and notice there is no undo, just like we had for that running late. So to find that, we'd have to double-click on the appointment and uncheck this inbox right here. And we will click Save and X out, and the appointment is unchecked in. If you wanted to undo a no-show, we would double-click on the appointment, and we can also uncheck right there. And press save, and that would undo the no-show. Okay. So let's actually come back, and we want to take a look now at some of our reports. But before that, our appointment confirmations, what did we cover? Just loading in the appointment and choosing how we wanted to load them in. We took a look at what we have for confirmation settings, which is leaving a message or did we contact them. Refresh and save lets everybody know right on the book, very live right there. And we took a look at our client appointment notes that we can see right from our appointment confirmations. And then again, if you want to set up those email or SMS confirmations, then we will need to contact the business support department. Let's take a look at the customer management. So we already saw the appointment book legend and confirmation colors and appointment book filters and right-click menu. So that was our customer management. If you need more help on anything in Millennium, we can always use F1 or click on that help menu, and that would jump us right to any help that we do need. So you can type in any word that you would like more help on, and it will appear all the options that you have there. And let's take a look now at our top reports. So items covered in here, these are a few of our different report numbers. We have our AQ005, which is just printing out employee schedules. Our AQ022 is those small client work tickets. Also, our AQ070 is our appointment recall listing. And our AQ210, which is where we come into play with that missed opportunity. So let's jump back into Millennium and take a look at some of those reports. We can find all of our reports by clicking on our report icon. And these are going to be our appointment reports, which happens to be our default that pops up right here. So the first one we're going to take a look at is the AQ005, and that is printing today's appointment. That is actually printing standing appointments. We'll do AQ005 print appointments right there. That's the AQ005. And we'll take a look at printing our employee schedules. Now, we also have our AQ010, and the only difference here is this one comes out with formulas attached to it. So we say in our business information that we want our formulas to pop up with our work tickets and with our appointments. So when we print out these schedules, if they do have formulas, they will be attached. But just to show you, let's run the AQ005. And let's run this for today. So we can choose our custom field there, or we can set our custom date range. Let's take a look at our full day. Now, I do want to make sure that page break on employees is checked off. Otherwise, you're going to get one big running list of all of the appointments that you have today in time order. But we want to hand these out to our service providers. So we will click on page break on employees, and let's click on preview. And once we click on preview, we're going to get our employee list. It's going to ask you who do we want to move over. Right now it's going to say who do we want to include the client's phone number on the report. And I want to click no, because this is going to my service provider and is not being handled by my front desk. So I don't want them to keep these schedules and take them home and then have a client list with phone numbers available to them. So let's click on no here. And then we get our employee selection list. Now, instead of weeding through who is working today and moving over those employees, or fishing through who's a service provider and who's front desk, if we click on Move All and press OK, Millennium's automatically going to sort out all of that for you. So it's never going to waste paper. So we're going to press OK there. And you notice all of our front desk employees, everybody else is gone. Anybody that does not have a schedule, it's not going to give you a prompt or anything. It's only going to give you the options for people who have appointments booked. So this is our employee schedule listing. So we would give this to them in the morning. And for Derek, he can see the time that his first appointment is coming in. Also, any appointment notes, since we have that set to print our appointment notes, anything there would show up as well. And also what service they're having, what time, and the list here. Also a cool feature on this report is we can see where the client is coming from. So we have Lisa coming in today at 1 o'clock. And if you work with us, you know that Ian is a massage therapist. So if Lisa is running a little late to Derek's chair, he can go to Ian's room and say, hey, where is she? Because that's where she's coming from. So it's a simple way to be pretty efficient. We'll close on out of our appointment listing. And let's take a look at our small client work tickets. Now, you're going to notice 3 client work ticket reports. We have our large client work tickets, which is going to be one client on one sheet of paper that has all of their information on it. But if we wanted to save a little bit of paper, we have our AQ022. And also AQ022P. Now, the difference there is you can purchase perforated sheets, and that would make it easy to separate. If we choose our small client work ticket, we'll print these at night for the next day, and we can use a paper cutter to cut them apart, but we're going to be saving a ton of paper. So let's take a look at what they would look like. So we can choose tomorrow. Let's take a look at tomorrow's work tickets, and we'll click on Preview. Now we have our selection options. So we can print all the work tickets for the selected employees, and we're going to keep that selected. We can also choose not to put service prices on today's appointments. So just in case a client is going to be looking at this and maybe they want to upsell that, or it's going to be a different price, they're not going to look and say, hey, haircut's usually $50, why am I getting charged $60? Well, we all know it's because they have long hair or something like that happen, but you do have the option to not include those service prices. You also have the option to show formulas on the work tickets. If you uncheck that, the formulas will not appear. And we also have the option to include prices on sales history, which we will see in the history in just a moment. You can see their services and retail, what they've purchased before. We also have our select sort order. Now we can sort it by employee date and time, or we can sort it by date and time. Let's sort it by employee date and time. We'll press OK. Now again, we can move over everybody. We don't have to worry. Millennium's not going to waste your paper, and you're not going to get any prompts saying, Lindsay is a front desk employee. What are you doing printing this report? So we'll press OK here. And this is what our small client work tickets look like. So if you had those sheets that do come apart, they would come apart right here on the lines. Otherwise, we could take that paper cutter and slice right here. And these would actually go around from service provider to service provider. We will see the client's name here on the top. Formulas, if any. Let's take a look at Ashley. She does have some. Now we've had on our preferences show all formulas regardless of what she has booked. So even though she has a hair appointment, her color and massage formulas are still showing. We can also see her service history, when she came in, for what service, with who, and how much she did pay, since we did opt to put the prices on here. And also her retail history. So we can say, hey, you know what, you haven't purchased this thickening spray since 2008. I'm sure you need some, again, because it's 2010. And then we can also see her appointment that she has today and with who. We can see her first and last visit, and any future appointments that she has, and any appointment notes are going to show up here as well, since we did mark that to happen too. So we can see that she has that 20% off coupon from Valpak. So we'll close on out of here. Now, let's take a look at a really cool report, and it's called our Appointment Recall Listing. So let's scroll down here for just a moment. And this is our AQ070. And what happens when we set up our services, we set a frequency of visit. So for color, we may have set this color should be performed maybe every 6 weeks or so. So since that is set, we can take a look at this date range, whatever we want to set here, and it'll show you any clients that are due back now. So if somebody had that service 6 weeks ago and they're due back within whatever date range we have here, they're going to appear on this report. So let's choose this month by coming to our custom and choosing this month. So people who had color services or any services that we choose that are now due back within March, we can click preview here. And we're going to say that now we could just choose our color service, but I want to see all of them. So we can click on Move All. Again, Millennium will automatically read this out for you. I'm going to press OK. And would you like to include client's phone number on this report? Yes, I want my front desk to go ahead and call these people and say, hey, you know what, it's been 6 weeks since you had your color done. Where are you? You probably have roots. So we're going to click on Yes there. It's going to give you a running list of the clients that should come back. It's also going to give you their home and cell phone number, what service that they are due back, and when the last time that they came in. Also, it's going to tell you the last time they came in, which employee they have. So you can say, hey, Michael, I see that you are due back for this deep tissue massage. Would you like Meredith again? Now, we also have the option over here, if I can get to it here, is our future appointment. If they do have future appointments booked, it will pop up on this list. So we have to remember that this is any future appointment. So they may have an appointment, but not necessarily for the women's haircut that she had last time. So we'll have to go and check that appointment by using our Find button and see what exactly that is. So we're going to X on out of here. And the last report that we're going to take a look at is our missed opportunity listing. So since we did, I believe, we set one up before, hopefully we did, let's take a look at our missed opportunities. So that is our AQ210, our missed opportunity listing. And let's say that we want to say anything that we missed, let's say this week, just so we make sure we get some in there. So we're going to click on this week, and we're going to press preview. And missed opportunity for everybody, not only for just any employee or just missed for Derek. Now you do have the option of choosing them, but we're going to press Move All. I want to see every missed opportunity that there was, and we're going to press OK here. Now, you also have a grouping option, so you can go by date or by day of the week, but I'm going to choose date here and press OK. Would you like to include the client's phone number on the report? Let's click yes. If we do have a missed opportunity, we don't want them to think that we forgot about them, and we can give them a call if one opportunity arises. And we could take a look at, this is the one we did today, that we had Christina was the client, and she tried to book anywhere from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. with anybody for a woman's haircut, and the value that we did lose. So you can see that we could have had $50, but we didn't. And then you can also see as well if they do have any future appointments, which she does, so that's good. I'm going to X on out of here. Now, if you wanted an easy way to group these appointments together, we can use a report category. We're going to choose our report category button. We can set that up right here. And we are going to say we have to choose a category. So let's say appointment book. We'll do that. And we can choose also if it is public or private. Now, this one is going to be a public report. If we check this off, the person that was logged in at the time, once you get your security set up, is the only person that's going to be able to view this category. But this is going to be for everybody, so we're going to choose that it's public. And we're going to come over to our appointments category here, which is our existing category. We're going to choose the report numbers that we want to pull over. So that was our AQ005, also our AQ022, the AQ070, and last but not least, the AQ210. Okay, so they appear right over here on the right-hand side, and we'll press Save and X out. So if we didn't want to go fishing through or see what were they, we have easily for the front desk, if we scroll up, we see that our appointment book category is right here, and those reports are shown here. So it's simple to go through without fishing through Millennium to do so. So our top reports are those 4 reports. We're going to do printing appointments for the employee schedules at the beginning of the day. Also our small client work tickets, which we can pass around from service provider to service provider, and then back to the front desk when they are finished. Also the appointment recall listing to see who should be coming in this month for which services. And also the missed opportunity listing so we can get a better view of maybe we should be open on Friday nights or maybe we should open again on Mondays, stuff like that. So that is the end of the basic appointment book webinar. The next webinar that we do offer is the advanced appointment book. You do need some data entry before proceeding into that webinar. We need to complete the basic appointment book webinar, which congratulations, you just did. We also need to make sure that we have our appointment types, appointment categories, and cancellation reasons set up. If you want more information on that, contact the Business Support Department, or we also have data setup webinars. We need to make sure we enter in all of the packages and series. And we want to create a training version. You would click on Utilities and then go to Create Update Training so you're not actually working in your live Millennium. Now, if you're converting from another software program, make sure to have your preliminary conversion done first and not the final conversion. So that's pretty important. Additional resources, if you need it, again, our business support, the phone number, 973-402-8801. The email there, mymillenniumcommunity@harms-software.com. We are open in the Business Support Department from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also check us out on our community site. It's www.mymillenniumcommunity.com. This is where you can chat with other salon and spa owners or post enhancement requests. There's lots of cool things to do on there, so check that out. And we also have other training options. So we can do remote training. We can also go on-site. We do corporate training. We have Millennium DVDs, and then the online webinars, of course, that you are viewing now. So thank you very much for attending. If you do have any questions, please post them in the chat, and I will get right to them. And we will see you again in advanced webinar.